And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Cameron Woolley Show. With me is Ming Chen.
What's up, everybody?
And I'm Cameron Woolley. So, a lot of stuff to talk about today. Obviously, trade deadline.
Trade deadline.
Weird.
Trade deadline.
Weird trade deadline. Now, I've never seen anything like this. Obviously, got to talk about Hard Knocks 2, the New York Football Giants.
Yeah.
That's been happening. So those are what we're primarily going to be talking about.
Okay.
Yankees on a little bit of a decent stretch as, oh my God, did he get thrown out? No, he didn't. Okay, we have the Yankee game on right now. It's the bottom of the eighth. Our current feed has the Castellanos leadoff. I think that was Castellanos. No, that was Alec.
No, Alec Bohm.
I know they both have similar swings, but I'm going to be kind of can't do the exact play-by-play, but that looked. Again, this is why I have a problem during Yankee games when.
Yeah, well, you want to watch at the same time.
It's like I want to watch, but I also know I have to actually.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? What you gotta love the Wednesday day games, the travel games.
Yeah, like the random Wednesday day game.
Gotta love it.
Here's Nick Castellanos at the plate. So, anyways, you just came from San Diego Comic-Con.
I did. Amazing.
That's like the nerd Super Bowl.
It is. Yeah,
right
no
there.
doubt.
A lot of stuff happened. One major thing that I have to complain about.
Okay, complain away.
I'm sure you have an idea.
Sure.
What the hell are they doing casting Robert Downey Jr. as Victor Von?
I don't know.
That makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. On no world should Robert Downey Jr. should they be recasting him.
Well, it's Marvel, so there are many worlds. So you have to keep that in mind.
Isn't there a timeline out there where it's just where Doctor Doom is the evil version of Tony Stark?
Yes,
I know
that's there is, but
oh my God. Okay, turn it off. I can't watch this anymore.
All right,
I can't watch this.
Castillo just singles, scoring out 6-5 Yankees.
I gotta lock in.
The late inning collapse has continued, my friends. Yes, there is a timeline where Tony Stark is in fact Victor Von Doom. That did happen in one timeline. Should it happen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? That remains to be seen. There are two schools of thought on this. One, it's a desperation move to get Marvel back. Or two, they know what they're doing. They have something so awesome that we'll see in late 2025 when Avengers Doomsday is released, that it'll work. Hopefully it's the latter, but all signs turn to the former, that it might just be a desperation move. In any case, so I wasn't there during the reveal. I was outside waiting because the Kevin Smith panel was afterwards, but I saw all the people streaming out, and they look pretty shell shocked. So it was a big win for them. They loved it. I saw guys crying. There were guys, grown men crying, coming out of the theater
about comic book
the panel room,
here, like Marvel, like real MCU nerds.
But yeah, so they loved it. I'm at the point where I give everything a chance, so I'm not going to whine about it. But a lot of people think it's a desperation move.
I personally,
it's a Russo brothers. You gotta put a little trust in them.
Yeah, like those guys.
You guys know what they're doing.
They made Infinity War and Endgame, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, they also did Civil War. I think.
I have to look that one up.
Maybe they had a hand in the Captain America movies, which, for my money, I still think is the best trilogy in Marvel. I know Guardians of the Galaxy has a bit of an argument to be made there. And, yeah, it was the Russo
brothers. It was, yes. All right.
Who did Civil War. So
good call.
They're used to making large-scale... They're used to making large-scale movies that end up landing and doing pretty well.
Yes.
But the big reason why those movies landed well was because they had a good story.
Right.
And good characters that were already built up individually with their own movies. I don't know anything about this new cast of MCU characters. Like, what is exactly so compelling about these new Avengers? That's the question.
Right. Well,
that I'm really asking.
I imagine.
I'm sure. Like, I'm talking about this because I don't really have much that I can add on the trade deadline or training camp. So
Yeah.
this is just taking up our hockey segment.
Yeah. Yeah. Which there's not much hockey to talk about right now. I imagine Doctor Doom will be introduced as the main bad guy in Fantastic Four's. The upcoming Fantastic Four movie shooting right now. I think they literally just started. Called Fantastic Four: The First Steps. Like, it will take place in the 60s.
It's end of 2025.
Yeah.
Though, where they're going to be doing this is a year. They're giving us a year to build up. For
Hype.
context, like, Thanos was first teased to us in 2012.
Yes.
In the first Avengers.
Yes.
They had
him at the end.
They had him show up periodically in every single movie. Everyone was connected to him in some way, whether it be Ronin or going back to Thor: The Dark World. You had the Reality Stone. They set up these Infinity Stones, and everybody knew that Thanos was looking for them.
Yes.
Back to, I think, 2014 in Guardians of the Galaxy. That was when Thanos was first really shoot in there as a major player.
Yeah.
And they gave him a few years to sort of develop and a few years to sort of build him up to the audience as this big bad guy. And going to Age of Ultron, where he got the Infinity Gauntlet, everybody knew, he's coming.
Thanos is coming.
With Doctor Doom, presumably a year and a half out, we know nothing about his MCU character. All we can think about, or all we can really base him off of, is different iterations we've seen of him in the source material and in the comics.
Right.
We know nothing about him in the MCU. We know nothing about him other than he's being played by the guy who played Iron Man. So
one of the greatest heroes in the universe.
Like, whenever we see him, all we're going to be thinking of is Iron Man and Tony Stark. Now, sure, he may just be a alternate version.
Might be a multiverse
Tony
character.
Stark, which they better be going down that route. That's the only way that this character can make sense.
Right.
Is if it's an alternate version of Tony Stark. But even then, it's still just giving retread vibes.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Also, Jonathan Majors getting into all that trouble. That sort of
that threw things, big monkey wrench.
That huge, huge wrench into their plans, because Kang was getting that build-up treatment. Granted, it was through all the stupid, convoluted shows that I've sort of lost interest in watching. I haven't even seen the second season of Loki, which I've heard it's not as good as the first season.
Well, I mean, the first one was pretty awesome. So.
The first season of Loki was fantastic. Awesome. I loved the first season of Loki.
Yeah.
You had Kang being built up as this, and Immortus that set up the multiverse pretty well, but
pretty big villain. Pretty big villain.
Everybody sort of knew that the multiverse, anybody who has any shred of media literacy, which I hope most of the people on this planet have. Most of the people on this planet should have basic media literacy.
You would think.
Everybody sort of knew that the multiverse and all that happening was just an excuse for them, or it's a plot point that they can use to bring in other actors and other characters from different universes. You saw them doing that in Deadpool, which I haven't seen.
Yeah, me either. I haven't had time.
I've heard
good things.
I've heard
great things.
About
great things, even.
I mean, it's Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
It's Ryan Reynolds. I'll watch anything with him in it.
Yeah.
But what they're doing with Deadpool, bringing back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and putting him into the MCU.
Yeah.
No Way Home, you had Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, Willem Dafoe, Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, all those guys back.
Everybody coming in. Movies from 20 years ago, because they kind of know in their heart of hearts, after Endgame, that line of original characters sort of just ended.
Right.
That story came to its logical conclusion in 2019. An 11-year run, a fantastic run.
Yeah.
I will say this, going to my grave, that the decade or so run from, or like half decade, from Winter Soldier or from first Guardians of the Galaxy to Avengers Endgame is the most impressive run of movies that I have ever seen from a studio.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Unmatched.
I've said time
Unmatched.
and time again, hit after hit after hit after hit for 5 years, 3 movies a year. That is unheard of. And I don't care what your opinions are on Marvel. I know a lot of film Twitter, they love to criticize Marvel, the Martin Scorsese's, who I'm not going after him as a director.
Right.
I mean, he's made movies most of his movies are better than your run-of-the-mill MCU film, but there are a lot of people who think that, the snooty film people who think they're smarter than everybody else. They say that Marvel isn't really cinema. I personally consider it to be cinema myself. So, I mean, Marvel, they had their good run, but that, like, Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Doctor Doom just reeks of nostalgia baiting. And nostalgia baiting can work sometime. Top Gun Maverick.
It worked, yeah.
That was total fan service. My dad ate it up. Everybody,
I loved it.
Every Gen Xer on Earth, I'm pretty sure you included,
oh, yeah,
ate that movie up, and that was just nothing but fan service.
Yeah, it's great.
I remember The Force Awakens, even though there were a million plot holes in that movie. It was a carbon copy remake of Episode 4.
Yeah.
And it worked. It worked. It was an entertaining movie, and people ate it up because they like eating their member berries. Going back to South Park, I'm going to invoke that. The member berries. Everybody loves member berries.
All about the member berries.
And when it's executed properly, it's amazing. But when you do it in such an in-your-face, effortless way, like what Marvel is doing with Robert Downey Jr., it's going to fall flat. I'm sure he'll probably do a great job because he's one of the best actors on there, just won his first Oscar, completely overdue. And I'm sure he'll do great, but all anybody's going to be able to see, especially in the MCU, is just Iron Man. I remember I watched Oppenheimer, and when...
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's Tony Stark.
When Louis Strauss was testifying in Congress and conspiring against Oppenheimer, all I could think of was, oh, that's Tony Stark. That's Iron Man.
Yeah. He's also getting $80 million for his next couple movies. So not a bad paycheck.
It's Disney money.
Not a bad paycheck. So
Disney money that they're running out of. But
Disney will never run out of money. Disney will never run out of money.
Marvel, at least, has been a money pit for them in the last few years.
I think they're still turning a profit on that. It might not be as big a profit.
I mean, the CGI.
They're still talking profits.
You can tell the budget cuts from the CGI.
Yeah.
Disney. Oh my God.
Disney will never run out of money. That you can bank on, literally. They'll never run out of money. Yeah. But yeah, it was cool being there. And, I mean, the fans are still there. They're still there. There are no lack of fans. So, all they got to do is make good movies to keep them.
I mean, there's wavering popularity in it, though, and that's because of the quality of their movies.
Yeah,
in the last year, you can't deny, Marvel is not...
Oh, sure, but
Marvel went from having a solid... From the entire Infinity Saga.
Right.
Think of... Okay, off the top of my head, the movies that I consider to be duds...
Okay, Dark World.
Dark
Number
World,
one, yes.
Like Dark World was a dud.
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard enough that that's a dud.
Okay.
And there's Dark World was a dud.
Right.
That's only really the only one that people don't like.
Eternals was not that great.
I'm talking the Infinity Saga.
Oh, the Infinity Saga. Okay, that was it. Yeah.
From Iron Man 1 to Endgame.
Sure, that's pretty much. That's pretty much the black mark.
You had Dark World, which is the ultimate black eye on that saga. But it was sandwiched in between the first Thor and it came before Ragnarok. So Thor's legacy was just healed by Ragnarok and then Infinity War, where he popped off and did his thing.
Yep.
My guess, maybe Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3.
3 was probably regarded as the weaker one, yeah.
They weren't really memorable.
Right.
The only things I remember from Iron Man 2 are...
first appearance of Black Widow in the MCU. Iron Man 2,
yeah.
So that, you got her introduction. couple things in 3, nothing major.
Yeah, that like the Mandarin who still hasn't
The fake Mandarin, yeah.
Maybe sure, yeah, what Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Like Shang-Chi, it's a solid movie.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. Like I watched it, I was entertained.
Yeah, mind blowing. Maybe
he's
not.
Like, what are you? He's slotting into this line. Okay, I'm going to talk about the Avengers like a sports team for a second.
This is a sports podcast, so sure.
Okay. So you look at the Avengers. Then you had a core.
Yes.
You had your foundation. You had Cap and you had Iron Man. Those are your 2 pillars.
Right.
And now they're gone. Like Cap's old and Tony's dead.
Yes.
Or he's switched sides.
Apparently, yes.
That leaves you with Thor, who's, let's be honest, he hasn't been Thor lately.
Right.
Like, that is not Ragnarok Thor. You have the Hulk. The Hulk's been missing for, like, even in Infinity War and Endgame, he got carried.
Yeah.
Sure, he'd snapped the gauntlet, and there was a whole lot of issues with how his healing ability was handled, which the Hulk has a healing ability that's only rivaled by Wolverine. He should not have been out of commission for that entire fight.
Right. Agreed.
You have Spider-Man, who's strong.
Spider-Man will always be Spider-Man.
Like Spider-Man, he's strong. He's good. Doctor Strange, I think, is your headliner. Like in this current Avengers group, I think Doctor Strange has to be the guy.
Okay.
And he hasn't been the guy. He hasn't had to be the guy. You had Captain America and Iron Man as your top options. All of a sudden, Doctor Strange, who, he's got great abilities, but does he have the leadership ability? Can he step up and be that Captain America? And
right.
In terms of Iron Man, I guess you have Spider-Man. That's your guy. But sure, Spider-Man as a supporting member of the Avengers. Not talking about a solo guy. Spider-Man, he can handle Manhattan, which is a big deal on its own. He can handle
home field advantage, yes.
Like he can handle the Green Goblin. He can handle Vulture, Electro, Doc Ock. He can handle all of them.
Right. Put him into space, it's a little harder.
Yeah, Spider-Man in Infinity War, he was Infinity War and Endgame as a supporting guy. Sure, he lost in Infinity War. He got dusted, but he came back. He bounced back in Endgame as sort of a supporting option. He had the gauntlet for a little bit. He did a good job. But has Spider-Man developed enough to go into that top role where he can be a Tony Stark or he can be a Steve Rogers? He can't. I don't know if he has it. Sure, he's handled some multiversal, paracausal stuff in No Way Home, but again, that was still Spider-Man scale bad guys.
Right.
Like all of his guys he's taken on as a headliner, they're Spider-Man villains. He handled Vulture, he handled Mysterio, and he handled all the other Spidey villains with help.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know if I can trust Spider-Man as the top option. Then you have Captain Marvel, who by power is probably
one of the most powerful
probably
figures in the Marvel universe.
The most powerful one, but she doesn't have any support. Nobody really likes Captain Marvel.
Right.
I feel like also because they've tried so hard with her to just shove her in there.
Right,
and
they have.
And audiences don't like her. They do not like Captain Marvel. So they kept trying to push something that we as an audience did not like. And now, for whatever reasons that you may think, allegations of sexism and racism and homophobia and all the words that Disney likes to throw out when one of their IPs bombs.
Right. A lot of isms.
Sure. Is there some isms there? Absolutely.
A lot of isms.
Absolutely. I'm not going to deny that some of it is due to a bunch of isms, but also Captain Marvel doesn't really draw a lot. Like Captain Marvel doesn't have the aura of a Tony Stark or a Captain America.
Yeah.
Like she just doesn't.
Agreed.
Sure, is she powerful? Yeah.
Very.
And then
very
you
powerful.
have, and then on your back line, who do you got? I mean, maybe the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to pull up, but they're kind of broken.
They're always,
but their story kind of ended. Maybe Thor. I mean, sure, like Thor's going to have to step up big time.
Yeah.
But who do you have on that back line? Who do you have? Shang-Chi?
We do have Shang-Chi.
Although, like, yeah, Shang-Chi's pretty, like, he's cool, but going from having Spider-Man come off the bench to having Shang-Chi come off the bench.
Okay, it's a big...
There's
a big difference. I agree.
Like, there's a difference. And then you're going to have who else? Like, who else is going to step up? Who? America Chavez?
Sure, you have the Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. You got a lot of characters out there.
Who do you have? I guess you have like Deadpool and Wolverine.
Sure,
they're
well, yeah,
but
we got the X-Men that we haven't seen yet. We've got a lot of people.
Like maybe the Fantastic Four, but they're question marks.
Sure,
they're question marks. You don't know what they're gonna be.
Not yet.
You don't know how they're gonna fare against a Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Like, you think about it, if Thanos only waited a few years, he would have been able, like, he timed his assault horribly. He had the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right, and they're all in their prime.
And the Ravagers, everybody, smack in the middle of their prime.
Yeah.
Sure, maybe you could argue that Spider-Man wasn't really in his prime yet, but he was still a big-time member of that team, and he contributed a lot.
Yeah.
You had Doctor Strange in his prime. Everybody was just in their prime. Not to mention Wong.
Yeah. Wong.
Like that Ant-Man.
Yeah. Wong led the charge too, yeah.
Yeah. You had that team, and you compared that team to this team.
Right.
What's stopping me from believing that Doctor Doom is just gonna four-stock all of them and just walk away with whatever he wants to walk away with?
Yeah.
That it doesn't, like, if I can look at it from a unit, like, in the Marvel Universe, talking about it as, like, a baseball team, I just can't see it happening.
All right.
I just can't.
Right now,
it's going to take a lot of suspension of disbelief which it already took a ton of that in the Thanos saga, in those fights, in those movies. But it's going to take even more suspension of disbelief because you have to power scale. You have to have something be as powerful as Thanos. You have, like, Doctor Doom, they're going to make him super duper powerful.
Yeah.
To scale up to Thanos, and I don't know.
He's one of the main ones out there.
Like, well, I'm going to see that movie, and the Avengers, the good guys are going to win because it's modern Hollywood and it's Disney, and you can't fathom having the bad guys win at least once.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, in Infinity War, but the good guys are going to win, and I'm going to sit there in that theater thinking, why that makes no sense. I'm going to sit there thinking that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Now,
then they revealed that Galactus is coming back too. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Galactus.
Yeah, not the smoke one from that.
Not the
Fantastic Four movie. Like the helmet with the thing in it. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
He's coming back too.
That's good. Okay. Now that's an even bigger issue.
Yeah.
For the Avengers.
Sure. There you go.
How?
Yeah. How do you deal with him? A world eater.
Oh my. Okay. So update.
Okay.
In our MCU discussion.
Okay.
The New York Yankees have swept the Philadelphia Phillies.
Wow. Game over. Game over. All right. Well, you got to be happy about that, especially since they almost
into fight. Okay.
Since they almost
now we're going to talk
about
sports on the sports show.
Okay.
This is where I start clip farming for TikTok. All right. So I haven't been this happy about the Yankees in a while, and that concerns me.
Yes. Why are you?
It really concerns me.
All right. Where do you want to start? Why are you happy? Didn't really do much in the trade deadline.
5 straight games.
Although they may have picked up one of the best players, oddly enough.
Mark Leiter's also been a solid addition. He got out of that jam in the bottom of the 8th. Like, big time strikeout guy.
Yeah, did Jazz Chisholm hit another home run today?
No, he did not.
Okay,
hit another
well,
home run today.
Listen. Look how he's declining.
I am the energy that Jazz Chisholm has brought to this team.
Yeah.
It's so welcome. You had a guy for his first appearance in a Yankee uniform was walking into the visitors' dugout at Fenway Park or walking out of the clubhouse up those stairs into the Fenway dugout with his Yankee hat backwards, wearing a light green belt. And that's like, if George Steinbrenner saw that, he would die on the spot.
He would have fined him.
Like, you're fine. You're fired.
Yeah.
Big Stein doesn't like when people wear the hat backwards.
Calzone. Yeah.
Costanza.
It's Calzone's delicious.
Get him the hell off my team, Costanza.
Get him off my field.
Okay. I do not do the best.
That's what makes
it George Steinbrenner impression.
That's what makes it funny. But great pickup.
I can't do him yelling, but I can do him talking like this. Costanza, what are you eating over there? That looks tasty. Come on, slide it over.
What do you call this? Well, it's calzone, eh?
Calzone. What's the taste?
Calzone.
Costanza, give me an eggplant calzone. I can't think unless I've had my eggplant calzone. Big Stein wants an eggplant calzone. Dude, I love Seinfeld. I love Seinfeld, especially when they're the Yankee bits.
Yeah. Jazz Chisholm, 4 home runs in his first 3 games. Never been done by Yankee player in his first 3 debut games, first 3 games. So, great pickup. A little jealous. Didn't have to give up that much for him.
I mean, Agustin Ramirez was a great prospect. I really liked him. I thought he would come up and he'd be a contributor. He's tearing the cover off the ball in the minors. But we have a surplus of value at catcher.
Right.
We have Austin Wells, who's been quietly, debatably the best catcher in baseball since, the middle of May.
Right.
Austin Wells has been amazing. And also you have Jose Trevino, who's going to be coming up off injury later, who can get those backup reps and come in against lefties. So catcher was kind of a position of surplus value for the Yankees. So they thought they could trade Ramirez and they'd be fine with it. I like them actually going out and dealing one of their top guys for Jazz Chisholm. To come in, who's played a great third base, mind you.
Yep.
As a natural second baseman, he's come in and played a very solid third base. He's made a couple of great plays on the hot corner.
Yeah, and that offense, can't argue with that. So,
Jazz Chisholm has a WRC plus in the 120s away from Marlins Park.
Yep.
And guess where he's not playing for the rest of the year?
Yeah, doesn't have to play
Park.
Miami.
He's not playing in that cavern of a stadium. And
no fans, no energy. Yeah. He's got to be pretty happy, right? He's playing like he's very happy.
And it was so important. And I think it was more important for him than others to get off on the right foot and really come out hot, to have Yankee fans, from me to the WFAN caller, who's a bit apprehensive to types like Jazz Chisholm, and really win all of them over.
Yep.
And so far he has.
Yep.
So the personality went from those couple games where he hit those home runs and made those big plays. He went from having his personality being annoying to a bunch of fans to being endearing. And he just bought a ton of time with that series against the Phillies, where he just went off.
Yeah.
Off, hitting bombs left and right. Just a phenomenal series for him. He brings aggressiveness and speed on the bases. He's brought good defense. He's looking like a core piece of that middle of the lineup, and he's under team control for the next couple years after this,
which is great. Not a rental.
So you have Jazz Chisholm presumably locking down second or third base for the foreseeable future, because you don't know what's going to happen with Gleyber Torres. I think Gleyber Torres ends up leaving this
somewhere
else.
Yes.
He hasn't had a good walk year at all, and he's made those errors in the infield. It's just bad vibes overall from Gleyber Torres. He'll sign with an AL Central team and end up killing us for the rest of his career. But
Well, that'll be their problem. Maybe their problem. And Mark Leiter Jr.
Mark Leiter Jr. He's a big peripherals guy. A lot of red on his baseball savant.
Yeah.
I like him. He gets whiffs. He strikes people out. That's something that this bullpen has needed for a while.
Yeah.
And dude, like Clay Holmes, like he's such a problem.
Yeah, so
such a problem. That is just, I cannot begin to describe just how much I cannot stand watching him.
Yeah, and
Close games or try to close.
Blew it again last night.
The Yankees ended up winning, but every single time this guy comes out, it's a heart attack. Now, I don't know how well he did today, but I'm assuming it was a bit of a heart attack.
Did they put him in today? Was he available?
Yeah, he closed the game. He got the save.
All right. Unscathed?
Unscathed.
No drama?
No runs. I'm going to check the box score on the
one hit
subreddit.
No runs, no walks.
He allowed one base runner.
Yeah, he did lock it down.
Impressive.
So, I mean, that's what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
instead of giving you heart attacks.
Not allowing runs
or throwing wild pitches that result in runs.
And I know that a lot of the numbers say that he's getting unlucky with soft contact, but here's the thing. Every single time he comes out, this happens. He's blown more of his save opportunities than he's held down.
Right.
And when you look at these games and you look at the division right now, of course, now the Orioles have their act together with Jackson Holliday hitting a grand slam in his debut. Boy, that's going to be fun to deal with for 15 years. Or at least for like 8 years until he gets like traded or something. But
maybe to the Yankees. Or they sign him as a free agent. Yeah. All right, well, bottom line, trade deadline, always exciting. Did the Yankees get better? Do you feel that they got better? Did they fill? They still have a lot of needs, in my opinion. A lot of holes.
I think they still need. They didn't address the back end of that bullpen.
No.
They needed a different closer.
No.
They needed a guy with swing and miss stuff, and they're still running out there with Clay Holmes as their guy to close games. And when your closer has the nickname Cardiac in front of his name,
that's not good.
That's not good. When your closer comes in, you want to be in a position where you're like, okay, he's coming in.
It's over. Game's over.
Yeah. He's supposed to be your game over guy.
You guys had that guy. His name was Mariano.
I'm not even asking for Mariano Rivera, and I know a lot of people invoke his name.
Right.
When
well, rightfully so.
Blow saves from Aroldis Chapman now to Clay Holmes.
Yeah.
You have people talking about Mariano. It's like, oh, Mariano, you can't have Mariano all the time. Yeah, but we can still have a shutdown guy in the back end who can close games for us.
Right.
If it weren't for Clay Holmes, the Yankees would be leading the division right now. And that's just Clay Holmes.
Right.
Games that where the Yankees
single-handedly blew, yes.
Where the Yankees led before he came in, and it was either tied or they lost after he came out.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
I think there have been 4 or 5 of those games.
Yeah.
All year, or maybe in this little stretch where Clay Holmes comes in, the Yankees have a lead.
It feels like it was the last. It's been the last month that it's been like that. Yeah.
Up until Saturday.
Yeah.
Which again, I'm not buying completely all into the Yankees again. I'm still skeptical. I'm still kind of cynical because of moments like that. Where last night the Yankees had this awesome comeback moment in the top of the 7th. Jazz Chisholm hitting just a frozen rope down the line, a 3-run shot to take the lead. And you had the next two relievers come in and just do their job. You had Luke Weaver and Tommy Canley come in, go up and down, or 3 up, 3 down both times.
Yeah.
And then
you get to Clay Holmes.
And then the bottom of the ninth, 1-run lead. You just
need
3 outs.
Single.
You just need 3 outs, and then he can't get him without giving up a run.
Yeah.
And if it weren't for that lucky little ricochet to Gleyber Torres, they would have lost last night. And the vibes are significantly different going into today.
Yeah. Yeah. As such, got the sweep, though.
Make no mistake, Clay Holmes is going to lose the Yankees a pivotal playoff game. Or all playoff games are pivotal. He's going to lose them a playoff game. Or even worse, he's going to end their season. That is how bad. That is how bad it has gotten with Clay. We're getting into that territory with him.
Yeah,
where he's gonna, where the Yankees will be up by a run or 2 in the 9th, and then Clay Holmes will come in and he'll give up a couple of runs. He'll be a little shaky, and then he'll fall apart. And in the playoffs how much momentum works, and that would just put him in such a hole.
Yeah. For sure. Starting pitching. Rumor has it that Nasty Nestor was almost traded last second. Didn't happen.
I personally would have traded him. I mean, he came in. He did okay today. 5.1 innings.
Yeah.
3 earned runs. I mean, I guess cool.
Yeah. That's QS, right? Quality start.
No, it's 6 innings.
6? Almost, okay.
Quality start. So
almost a QS.
You have Nestor Cortez, who he's anymore. The league kind of figured him out after 2022, which I kind of should have seen coming.
And Garrett Cole scratch for fatigue.
General body fatigue on the day of the trade.
Is that what he called it? General body fatigue.
Don't
you have that like pretty much every day? I think that's how I describe my daily state.
Well, you're in your 40s and your back hurts and your knee hurts or your neck hurts on any given day. Some different part of your body.
Some different ailment. Yeah, you deal with it. You move on.
Or like me when I play golf. When I just played 18. For the first time on a pretty rundown course.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Little divots here. A couple divots here and there.
Like the fairway was rough.
It looked like a minefield.
No, the fairway.
Where was this? Which course is it?
Old Orchard.
Old Orchard. Okay.
It's not a fairway.
Okay, it's not Pebble Beach. We'll put it that way.
It's not Pebble Beach.
Okay.
It's not a.
The green's not as fast as you prefer.
It's like I complain about greens being fast,
right?
But like these greens are just so.
Okay.
I didn't even bother putting.
All right.
I was just like, oh my god. I was like,
all right, but you went through 18. That's good.
I played 18, and my body, I was just drained afterward.
Wow.
General body fatigue.
Okay, general body fatigue. Hey, it could be worse, right?
I mean, yeah.
Could be worse.
But again, with the Yankees and their injury disclosure, just
I heard they were making a run at old Jack Flaherty from the Tigers.
Flaherty and I heard things about medicals, which when has that ever been a problem with player acquisition? When has
now they're concerned
about this is the same team that willingly employs and goes out and acquires oft-injured talent and relies on them every single year to win games.
Yes.
And win a championship.
Yes.
And then they act shocked when said talent ends up getting hurt.
Right.
And all of a sudden now with Jack Flaherty, a guy who's going to be a staple at the top of your rotation, he strikes guys out, he has an ERA under 3. He's your number 2 starter. He's your game 2 starter.
Yeah.
And now it's just either explanation is not good enough for me. And it's a problem that I've had for a while. And I gave Cashman credit for trading Ramirez for Chisholm, but I don't understand what the issue was. What stopped you, value-wise, with prospects from getting a top-level starter in the 1 year where you're guaranteed to have one of the best hitters in history?
Good point.
On your team with your other superstar who's also one of the best hitters in history. You have a lineup that seems to have heated up and kind of figured some things out a little bit. You have new energy with Chisholm. I don't understand. These prospects cannot be grading out that well.
Yeah,
they can't be grading out that well.
Cashman's defense, the pitching, the seller's market.
I understand the pitching market.
Not allowed out there.
I understand the pitching market was insane, but that didn't stop the Dodgers from going out to get him.
Right.
Sure, they're probably going to get knocked out in the NLDS again, but at least they tried.
Right, or they could have given up the farm like the Astros did for Yusei Kikuchi, which a guy with a 4.56 ERA.
That is one of the stupidest trades.
I agree.
Ever.
They gave up a lot.
The Astros ruined. Like, that trade ruined the starting pitching market.
Yes.
Because it had...
Yeah, because now everyone wants something like that.
It had mid going for top 5 prospects in your pipeline.
Yeah, well, they give a 2.8 and something else.
Yeah, multiple top 10 prospects for a pitcher with an ERA in the
4.56. Yes.
In the 4s. That should not be happening.
Kikuchi is not that good. Unless they
I remember when he was hyped up.
Unless they see something that we don't.
Like, his peripherals aren't even that good from what I hear.
Right.
Either.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and, Terry Skubal staying put. I'm sure they wanted way too much for him.
You could have demanded the moon for Tariq Skubal, to be fair. Because Tariq Skubal is a sign.
I'm pretty sure they wanted Jackson Holiday plus other pieces. And after today, I'm glad they did not give him up. So, there would have been a riot in Baltimore, though, I feel. So, although great pitcher, could have put many teams over the top.
Oh yeah,
Cy Young candidate.
Yeah, it's most teams' aces.
Yeah,
in the American League.
Yeah,
and the American League has been blown wide open. The American League didn't really make a lot of moves, which I can sort of take some solace in that. If Jazz Chisholm ends up being the biggest needle mover in the AL in terms of deadline acquisitions.
I mean, he's already moved a lot of needles this past weekend. He hasn't even played at Yankee Stadium yet.
That's something that can be a little fun.
Yeah. But hey, man, look at these standings. Orioles half-game lead.
Over the
Yankees. First place. Half-game lead. Listen, I didn't think we'd be talking about this in August. It's almost August. This is great.
Dude, this is huge.
For me, this is great.
There's a ton of back and forth.
Yeah.
Here. The AL Central, that's just Cleveland.
Yeah. I mean, you got Minnesota and Kansas City sniffing. Seattle.
The AL, nobody wants to win that division.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to win the AL West.
Yep.
I could have said the same about the AL East.
Yeah.
Going in the last weekend because the Yankees and Orioles both sucked and the Red Sox also kind of sucked.
Thank goodness. Well, sucked at the same time.
Yeah, everybody just sucked.
Seattle got better with the addition of Randy Arozarena.
You know he'll show up against the Yankees, which Mariner fans care about because Mariner fans Mariner fans are baseball's good guys, so naturally they're going to hate baseball's bad guy.
Yeah. Houston lurking in the shadows, and
dude, Houston will always be a threat. That's a scary, scary team.
Yeah, and then the
National League, the freshly swept Philadelphia.
Yes, freshly swept by the Yankees.
Dude, Mets are still...
They're hanging around. Dude,
that NL wild card race is I want the
silly.
Yankees to wrap up their playoff spot by the time Like, by the time we get into the last week or so of the season, just so I can kick back, relax, and just watch the National League just eat themselves alive.
Yeah.
You have 6 teams. Oh, no, like, 2 of them deserve to kind of be there. Like, the Braves and the Mets, I think the Mets have graduated from fraud watch. They're a legit team. They're not a product of the feeble spot in the wild card race.
No.
The Mets are good.
Yeah, but
the Padres, I don't. What is the deal with the Padres? I mean, Jurickson Profar just came out of nowhere and became an elite outfielder. I mean, the Diamondbacks, you can't sleep on the Diamondbacks after last year.
Yeah,
the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Paul Skeens.
Paul Skeens led Pittsburgh Pirates early 2 games back in the wild card.
And this is Paul Skeens, who is living a very happy life dating one of the biggest supermodels on earth.
Yeah,
like
I can't lose right now.
Like, he's dated.
He can't lose.
Dude, imagine how good he's going to be when they eventually break up.
Yeah.
He's going to be pumping 105.
Yeah. The dating supermodels tends to be a distraction in your athletic performances.
Matt Kemp,
Rihanna, case in point. Yes, there are many examples. Many examples. And then you got the Cards, also only 2 games back. The Cards are always in it, somewhere.
They're devil voodoo magic.
Yes, for whatever reason. So, very close race.
The Chicago White Sox are 27-83.
They are.
Oh, my God. They're on a 16-game stinker.
Yes.
What?
They've lost 16 in a row. They are not very good, and they just got worse. They traded most of their team away. So,
oh my God! As the playoffs are lined up right now, the Yankees and Twins would be playing each other.
Yeah,
I would not mind if that result held. Of course, I say this is probably going to bite me in the ass, but I mean, past performance. I don't know if I don't want to see the Royals in the playoffs.
I don't either. They're just pesky, right? So
they've always been pesky.
Yeah.
Now they're pesky and good. You have Bobby Witt Jr., which I saw. Okay, let's get into this for a little bit.
Okay, what do you got?
Now that I'm talking about Bobby Witt Jr.
Okay.
How can anybody make an argument for anyone other than Aaron Judge being AL MVP? At the moment. Okay, well, pull up Aaron Judge's Fangraphs, will you?
Okay. Yes, I will.
I've seen tweets say that, oh, Bobby Witt does it all. Aaron Judge only hits home runs. It's like saying brain dead things about him. Aaron Judge is, after a 4 strikeout game today, mind you, has a .316 batting average, which I know batting average is not really that much of a issue. A .447 on base percentage.
Yes, ridiculous.
A .689 slugging percentage.
Yes.
A .470 WOBA. And that comes to a total for a .212 WRC plus.
Yes.
Can we just... I don't care how fast you are. I don't care how much contact you make. I don't care how likable you are as a player and as a person. That is not... How can anybody top that for MVP? Nothing. And he's hit 39 home runs and he's driven in 99 runs.
Yeah.
So
as of today.
So yeah, just,
it's not even August. Not even August.
Yeah, just disregard those stats. If you just look at the stupid the counting stats, and he has the lowest strikeout percentage in his career, and he's walking at a higher clip than he has since his rookie year. Or I guess last year in a small sample size he walked at a pretty high clip because the teams just stopped pitching to him.
Yeah.
I don't
Still,
care.
18% walk rate is pretty good.
And he's And I think he's underperforming his ex-Woba by a couple of points. Sure, he has a pretty high BABIP, but when you hit the ball so hard, it's going to drop.
Right. Yeah.
Or it's going to go into the seats.
Right. I think that, yeah. Yeah, you can't field those balls. Those balls, like, yeah. The balls would tend to, you have a pretty good BABIP after that. For sure. Who is arguing, who is in the Bobby Witt Jr. for MVP corner?
Royals fans and
okay.
people who just like
okay. I didn't know if there was a particular. I didn't know if there was a particular sports writer or network pulling for him.
You also have the dying coalition of Gunnar Henderson people. Which Gunnar has a great ball player. He's not the. I'm gonna go out there and just friggin' say it, dude. Sure. Aaron Judge is having the best peak that a hitter has had since Barry Bonds.
Without the roids.
That is
help.
Is not outlandish to say. Just by looking at the numbers themselves.
Yes.
Aaron Judge is putting up astronomical numbers.
Yes, he is. I'm jealous.
This hasn't happened since Bonds.
Yeah, and he's healthy.
Literally.
And he's healthy.
Literally hasn't happened since Bonds.
Right.
This is someone who has been vocally critical of the Yankees in the last few years. I'm going to give credit where it's due.
Okay.
Aaron Judge is having a peak that has only been seen by only maybe like 6 people in Major League history. You had Ruth,
yes,
who had a peak like this.
Sure.
Mantle. You had Mantle,
okay,
who had a peak like this. Bonds. To a degree, maybe Albert Pujols. Also, underrated guys like Jimmy Fox and like Hank Greenberg or something. But you're going into
sure, maybe Hamilton a couple years in there. Josh Hamilton. Yeah, monsters. And no Balco in sight. No roids anywhere.
Yeah, no steroids to be seen.
Right, clean. As a whistle.
Oh my god, dude, my phone's got them.
And you're blowing up.
Dude, there's a group chat with there's a FaceTime. There's a group FaceTime. I think that's happening with a bunch of my friends that got taught that's something that I actually need to talk to them about. But, but like that, I'll put it on hold.
Yeah.
But how can you look at that line and say that he's not MVP?
I have no argument.
I don't understand.
No argument.
It's not okay. You're smart. You're smart. Dude, that's good.
I'm not smart. I like that. It's pretty obvious.
You can
staring everybody in the face that Aaron Judge is MVP if the season were to end right now. No argument there. I mean, yeah, I think if you're to think of anybody else, you're like arguing.
Yeah, you just like arguing and you hate the Yankees.
Right. Yeah.
You just hate the Yankees, and
there are a lot of those out there.
Yeah, a lot of
you're looking at one of them, but even I am not so blinded as to not see that Aaron Judge is a clear MVP front runner. Yeah.
It's like the numbers are hilarious. He's outperforming his WRC plus from his record-breaking 2022.
Right. So, yeah.
Where he hit 62 bombs. Just going to throw that in there.
Yeah. Yeah, 209 back in 2022. Crazy.
He's just freakishly good.
Yeah.
And he was already elite before this, but he went from elite to God.
Yes.
Like, he's pretty much just God now.
Yeah.
Like, he went from averaging like 40 homers a year. His rookie year, he hit 52. But then he would hit at around an average of 40 homers per 162 games, which is still amazing.
Yeah.
Like, phenomenal production. But you're also going to have But he's sort of like, a little golf clap there. It's like, or more than a golf clap. The guy's a superstar. But he went from a very good elite player to one of the greatest hitters that this sport has ever seen.
Yeah. So don't waste that, is what you're telling me. Don't waste these years.
Yeah, you can't waste these years because he's 32, and it's only a matter of time before he goes from being Superman to just putting up a 140 WRC plus every year.
I mean, yeah.
Like, to just being a normal elite producer and not the best right-handed hitter the sport has ever seen.
Yeah.
Which I think it's a foregone conclusion at this point that he's the most productive Yankee since Mantle.
That's saying a lot.
Like,
That's saying a lot.
Like, sure, in terms of greatness, sure, Jeter's still ahead of him. Sure, Thurman Munson's still ahead of him. I guess maybe you could throw Reggie Jackson.
Okay,
but Reggie wasn't a homegrown, like, through and through.
Right.
Like, Yankee for life guy. He was a hired gun.
He was a mercenary, yes.
He was a hired gun, and now he works in the Astros front office, and everybody hates him. So, I mean,
he hates everybody too. So it all works out.
I mean, he's the straw that stirs the drink.
That's apparently, yes. So go eat a Reggie bar and go.
What even was in a Reggie bar?
It was just chocolate, I think. I think it was just chocolate.
I know my parents ate them growing up because they were Yankee fans and they loved Reggie Jackson. So,
right.
There's so many candies named after baseball players, especially in the older times.
Right.
Where you had, Baby Ruth.
Well, they didn't have the internet back then, so.
Now you have baseball players being on bottles of Prime energy drink with Logan Paul.
All right, let me see. What is in a Reggie bar? I think.
Isn't it?
Oh no, wait! Chocolate peanuts in a caramel center. So it wasn't just chocolate.
Oh.
I would eat that.
That's a solid combo. That's basically a Snickers.
Without being a Snickers, yeah. Yeah, I would eat that.
It's like if somebody put a Snickers bar in front of me,
yeah.
I would say no.
All right, so we'll be looking out for the Woolly bars soon, everybody.
The Woolly bar.
What would you put in a Woolly bar?
I'm not even a big candy guy.
Oh, really?
I'd put my chocolate bar would be the Woolly bar would contain. It would be obviously chocolate on the outside, but on the inside it would be filled with Oreos. Like crumbled up Oreos on the inside. I'm a sucker for cookies and cream, anything.
Okay.
I love Oreos. I go crazy for Oreos.
Okay.
So I would put, like, the Woolly bar would just be chocolate on the outside and Oreos on the inside. Also, preferably a Woolly bar would be deep fried too.
Okay.
But
no nougat, no caramel, no. I don't know.
Maybe throw a little caramel in there. Sure.
Okay. I was like, what
throw a little caramel in there for the chocolate bar enthusiasts. Maybe a little bit of peanut butter too. Like, just to make sure that I stick it to the peanut allergy people. Oh my God.
All right, I would eat that. Cookies and cream and
wrapped in dark chocolate.
No milk chocolate. Dark chocolate.
No milk, just dark chocolate.
Whoa. Okay.
I love dark chocolate exponentially more than I love milk chocolate.
And there's the Reggie bar. It's
just
it looks like a mess, much like Reggie Jackson himself. He's a mess.
It looks really good.
It looked unfriendly, much like Reggie Jackson himself.
I'd eat it. It looks melted and discombobulated, but Can
we still get these? I'm checking Amazon right now. What's a Reggie bar run? No, yeah, we get a
$68 for
We
a
get
box.
we get a case of them.
You know, that would
24
be
count.
That would be a good addition for the studio. Write it off as a business expense.
Yeah, Reggie bars to go with my Cal Ripken milk. Like,
Yeah, Reggie bars to go with your Cal
which
Ripken
is right.
milk
It's
carton.
behind the pop figures there. Where you're like,
What did you get another Funko Pop in San Diego? Or?
no, these are there. You know what? Pairs well with the. There we go. Cal Ripken milk, everybody. Pairs perfectly with the Reggie bar.
You dip your Reggie bar in your Cal Ripken milk.
Right.
So thank God, it's just the carton. Oh my God.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out who else got candy bars. The Reggie bar is the most well known.
And the Baby Ruth. So
And
I
the
mean,
Baby
two
Ruth.
Yankees. So they're like,
Yeah.
it's a big brand.
Yeah.
I mean, you get you get that little family size thing of Reggie bars. You put it in your little snack pile. which
Sure.
is-
Maybe we'll freeze.
I'm not- like the snack pile's been
It's very
a
random.
little bit of
I have Canadian ketchup chips up there.
yeah Canadian. Hold up, I've never tried Canadian ketchup chips.
Go for it.
I'm gonna be
Please.
right back.
Please be my guest. I brought these back for you. I have plenty of them. See the red bag up there? Can you reach it behind the mess?
I've never.
You got it. Okay, those are yours.
I have never tried these.
If you like ketchup, you'll love these.
I like ketchup. I'm just interested to see how these taste.
Okay, you know, like if you don't like them, I'll eat the rest because I love them.
These are
I think they're
Canadian,
great.
Too. I wonder if these taste different than standard American Lay's chips. You know, probably all the awful, poisonous American preservatives.
I just,
All right. Opening the bag.
I just think they're
For
amazing.
those listening on SoundCloud, I'm opening the bag. Yo, but they do not look appetizing.
Okay,
I'm gonna give them a whiff.
okay, should smell like ketchup.
Yeah, they just smell like ketchup. Okay. Okay, I have the chip in hand.
Okay,
They're edible.
okay, tastes like ketchup. Like you put ketchup on a chip.
Not my top choice.
Okay,
I've rarely ever dipped chips in ketchup, even when I was culinarily creative back in my fat days. These are just weird. I mean, they're not bad. I like eating on this show, but
yeah.
yeah, this is just. I mean.
Okay, so they wouldn't be your go-to.
They're not my go-to.
Okay.
Lay's isn't my go-to chip
Sure,
brand
just
anyway.
a plain lay.
Like if I'm no Lay's barbecue chips and sour cream and onion.
Okay,
I am a sour cream and onion enthusiast. You could get me if we started a show and you had the family size bag of sour cream and onion chips.
yeah, they'd be gone.
I could if I wanted to. I could absolutely take out an entire family size bag of sour cream and onion chips in an hour.
That's pretty impressive. The family size, you said.
Yeah.
Okay, it's huge.
Like the big family size.
Right. Okay.
I can and I have.
Okay, I believe you.
Like these are not my top choice.
Okay, you wouldn't
And
eat a
Lay's
whole.
isn't even my top.
I could probably eat a whole family size maybe in 2 hours.
Oh, okay. No.
Yeah.
I'm more of the Cape Cod,
Right.
like the kettle cooked chips
Yeah.
because
Well, there you go. You broaden your horizons. You can add another chip flavor to your resume.
I view chips as more of a condiment, if anything.
Okay.
So, like I'm.
Sure. They're an accompaniment. I'll eat them with
Yeah.
a sandwich. Yes.
Yeah, I put them on a sandwich,
Yeah.
and the crunchier chips
No, yeah.
are better for the sandwiches.
Good move. Good move. All right.
And if I'm just eating like chips, I get Doritos, the purple bag,
Yes.
the purple Doritos. That's
But what is it? The zesty.
no
whatever
spicy
flavor?
sweet chili.
Spicy sweet chili. Good flavor. Good flavor.
Those are my Doritos. Like sure, nacho cheese is great. Cool Ranch, kind of you always have that one Cool Ranch chip in the bag that has way too much of the seasoning on it, and you feel like your
Cake
tongue,
down there. Yes.
and you feel like your tongue's gonna like disintegrate.
Right. Yes. Yes. Indeed.
Have yet to try the spicy nacho though.
You should. It's good. Good flavor. Maybe I'll have some next week. We'll just eat different chips here every week until you head back to college. We could do that. Love
perfect. Where I'm gonna greatly raise my standards for the food I'm eating.
Yes.
I'm gonna be crushing McDonald's every 3 times a week at 12 a.m.
Yeah. Oh, I never got your opinion on this because maybe we'll switch over to football, but Aaron Rodgers stated.
What the hell did he do this
stated
time?
That the New York team should be renamed the New Jersey Jets and Giants. Did you read this?
No, I haven't. But in terms of Aaron Rodgers headlines, when you asked me, did you hear what Aaron Rodgers did? I was expecting worse.
Oh.
I was expecting to hear him say something like, yeah, you know what? Maybe vaccines, blah, 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 blah.
Right. Yeah, you said the team should be renamed. So I don't disagree with him.
But they're the New York, that they're so.
I wonder if there's a clip somewhere. Yeah. I have to look it up. He said this a couple days ago.
Also, just saying, I don't think Bobby Kennedy has picked a running mate yet. And Aaron Rodgers, I heard legit.
Yeah, here we go. Nobody on the Jets lives in New York. If you're a Giant, you can, but I don't know why you were just. But we are the New Jersey Jets, so are the Giants.
I think the Giants are more Jersey's team. I see a lot more Giant stuff around here than Jet stuff.
Yeah.
If anything, the Jets are more entrenched in New York culture with Long Island and Brooklyn.
Right.
As opposed to the Giants. The Giants are more around here. Especially if you go into Hudson County.
Yeah.
You'll really start seeing that place is blue and red for the Devils. Big Devils towns up in North Jersey. If you go up to Hoboken, Jersey City, that's Devils country through and through.
Yeah. Preseason coming up in a week. Lions Giants, Thursday, August 8th, 7 p.m. As he keeps going with the chips.
Yeah, the Giants have a working relationship with the Lions and the Dable and Campbell administrations. They work together. They have their joint practices. It's always kind of nice to see when two teams kind of have a cordial relationship like that.
Yeah. Well, especially when the games don't count, but yes. When it does count, it's game on. But
yeah.
But I mean, it's back, almost.
Yeah, football's bad. I'm excited for football this year. Maybe it's the Hard Knocks that kind of.
All right, got you reinvigorated.
Up I loved Hard Knocks.
Yeah,
that was such a great series. Oh my god, I watched the finale this morning actually.
All right, what'd you think?
The draft episode didn't really offer that much. The episodes around the free agency drama and the trades were way more fun.
Okay.
And with the trade up rumors. And I'll say those episodes made me really have some faith in Joe Shane and Brian Dable. I trust that they know what they're doing. And they're a clip. They don't really prop everything up like they're the gold standard of everything. They showed clips of John Mara trying the metal. And there was Joe Shane just being like, dude, just back away.
Chill.
Let me do my job.
Right. Yeah.
And they were really going for trading up for a quarterback. They wanted to do that. That was their top plan, was to trade up for a quarterback. They were at the combine and they went to New England Suite and they're like, hey, we want to trade up to 3 and get a quarterback. So that was their plan.
Yeah, didn't work out that way.
And I really like Malik Neighbors. He's a freak of nature at training camp from everything I've heard from every single source that I can possibly find. I've heard that Malik Neighbors is he's a problem. That's the term I've heard. Problem. the good kind of problem.
Yeah.
And there's just so much to be excited for with him. And I've seen a lot of people sort of ranking the Giant roster really, really low in terms of the grand scheme of the league and overall roster construction. And I can see why. Like, I'm not going to get on media outlets for doubting the Giants because they've been terrible for the better part of a decade. But when I look at this roster right now, I see very talented receivers.
Okay.
I see an offensive line that's kind of starting to come together.
Okay.
But we'll wait and see on that.
Yes.
I see a couple of pretty talented running backs in Devin Singletary and Tyrone Tracy. I look at the defense. I see an elite defensive line with Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, and Kayvon Thibodeau. I see good linebackers for the first time in my entire life with Bobby Okereke and Micah McFadden. The secondary has some questions. That is my big question mark that I think not enough people have been mentioning. The Giants kind of only have one serviceable corner in Deonte Banks. But Banks he showed a lot in his rookie year. I hope he ends up taking that next step to the next level. I think he can take the next step to that next level. But overall, the Giants roster is in way better shape than people give it credit for. And that's because of Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones makes the optics of that roster look so much worse than they actually are.
Okay.
Because if you put a decent quarterback there, all of a sudden, Malik Neighbors, Jalen Hyatt, Wan'Dale Robinson, oh my God, look at those young receivers. You have Devin Singletary and Tyrone Tracy. Oh my God, look at that running back duo, that little thunder and lightning type deal. You have an elite front seven. You have a questionable, but you have a young secondary. And you have solid safeties. The narrative is solely on Daniel Jones and how badly he has done since he signed that $40 million a year contract, which granted looks better with every single mega deal that every quarterback
is getting right now. Yes.
Yeah.
Insane.
But that on top of the way he's playing in training camp, missing wide open guys, he cannot hit a single receiver in stride. And I don't care what Malik Neighbors says to the press, I guarantee he's frustrated with Daniel Jones because he is way too talented of a receiver to put up the production that he's about to put up this year because Daniel Jones can't make the throws.
Yep.
And there have been a couple of articles that have come out already calling for an open QB competition in camp because Drew Lock is definitely a better option than Jones. I'm going to be real. I can't fathom the idea of Daniel Jones starting every single game for this team and thinking we have a chance to do something.
Right.
I feel better.
Wow. Okay.
I feel better with Drew Lock.
Okay. It's a controversial take. Possibly.
This shouldn't be controversial. Anybody who pays attention to the Giants knows
sure.
Anybody who isn't blinded by faith in this guy knows this as a fact. A legit stone cold fact. Daniel Jones can't get it done. He has proven more times than not that he can't get it done. And for some reason, like 75% of this fan base thinks he's just a couple of guys away from becoming a superstar. Sure, he had that year in 2022 where he took us to the playoffs.
Sure.
And he won that playoff game against that god-awful Vikings.
Yes.
Sure, he had that 1 year, but outside of that, Daniel Jones has proven nothing but, at best, volatility. He is volatile at best as a quarterback. And that is not something that I want leading my franchise. That is not someone I can put my faith behind. And when people say that the Giants have the least intelligent fan base in the NFL. There was a survey that came out last year, last offseason, that had the Giants ranked
dead last
as the stupidest fan base in football because
based on what criteria?
Just searching up Daniel Jones and then looking at every tweet from most Giants fans about Daniel Jones,
right,
just excusing every single little bit of bad that he has done. Everybody gives up on bad draft pick quarterbacks like 2 years into their career. Meanwhile, Giant fans are still trying to grapple with Daniel Jones being the guy. Let's give it a break.
Right.
He sucks.
All right, I would have given that title over to, say, Cowboys fans, but what do I know? Wow, New York Giants. Well, who conducted this survey? Do you remember?
I don't remember who conducted it.
Okay, doesn't matter.
I think like CBS.
Okay, like a legit outlet.
Yeah, legit outlets.
Wow, even with you in their corner.
I'm not smart. As a sportsman, I am not smart.
You're more of an educated sports fan than many people I know.
How was Andrew Thomas only an 89 overall in Madden? Okay, that's another stupid group of people. EA Sports.
Right.
And of course, everybody is in their honeymoon phase with them now because of college football.
Yeah.
But Iona doesn't have a football team, so I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm only buying that game. Like if Iona had a football team,
Yeah.
I would have bought it and I would have done a.
You didn't pay $30 to play it early, did you?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not a big college football fan.
Okay.
I'll watch college football.
Right.
I'll pay attention to it from time to time. Like every Saturday, if it's on, I'll sit down and watch it. If there's a big heavyweight matchup, I'll watch.
Yeah. Well, a few million people did. So what a great, what an awesome pricing model. I'm sure there are plenty of games you would pay $30 to play it a few days early.
I spent $100 pre-ordering the final shape. So yes.
Okay. So they got you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I have been sucked into the financial model of modern gaming.
Yeah. Which
I've gotten sucked into DLC prices.
Sure.
And exorbitant pre-orders.
Yeah. Virtual currency, yes.
I don't pay
in-game
for virtual currency.
In-game purchases.
I don't pay for microtransactions.
Okay.
I haven't since I was 10 years old on Clash of Clans.
Ah.
I haven't, and I will not.
Okay.
When I played Fortnite, I never bought V-Bucks.
Okay.
Wait, have I bought silver in Destiny? I think I bought silver in Destiny.
All right, I don't blame you.
Once or twice.
Okay.
Outside of paying for the season pass.
Right. Okay. Well then.
But other than that, I have gotten sucked into DLC pay-to-win models.
Right.
I've gotten sucked into those.
Okay.
I basically wire Bungie $80 a year on average.
Oh well, okay, yeah. I mean,
like it's a yearly expense at this point.
Okay, yeah.
I just factor it in. Like when I'm
it's like
when I'm eventually an adult, when I'm budgeting, I'm gonna write down Destiny 2.
Right.
$90 or something.
Yeah, it's like paying your your electricity bill.
Yeah.
It's that important.
Yeah, it's like it's paying.
That important.
It's a bill for me.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, Bungie, they're going through it right now. They just had a bunch of layoffs, and in a slimy way too. It's like if you get laid off, your benefits still last for the month.
Okay.
They laid off everybody today.
Oh.
Last day of the month, they laid off.
Oh, right. Okay.
They laid off 80% of their staff, including.
Holy crap, that's a lot.
Including their senior narrative designer, who put together one of the best stories that this game has ever seen.
Yeah.
Including like audio design people, like with that soundtrack. It's just despicable what Bungie has done with their staff in the last couple of years. This is 2 years in a row of mass layoff from Bungie.
Crazy.
Just terrible.
Crazy. Yeah.
Well, Sony. Like ever since Sony bought Bungie, it's just been cutthroat.
Yeah.
Everything over there.
It's on numbers and counting beans. profit. That's all that matters.
Profit, yes, and especially now that everything's just AI now. That's the I don't know how
It's a
much
killer.
I don't know how much of a fad AI. I don't know if AI is going to be a fad or if it's going to be here to stay.
I mean, presumably it just gets better. And
I know that the art community hates
for good reason.
Hates AI. Yeah, for amazing reasons.
For good reason.
I don't think it's going to impact voice acting that much because you can tell.
For now, yes.
You can very much tell for now that what's AI and what's a real person.
Yeah.
I've even seen commercials try and use the generic AI voice from TikTok or like radio ads.
Right.
They use the generic AI voice from TikTok and I'm like, that's AI. Like that, you're not slick.
No, yeah. But as with everything in technology, it gets better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of unfortunate, you know, that there's a whole movie series out there as to why
It's bad.
AI advancements are a terrible idea.
Well,
again,
yeah.
I brought up media literacy before. That's why this is important.
Yeah.
You don't want to open Pandora's box because next thing you know, you're gonna have killer robots traveling back in time. Saying,
Yeah. We were warned 40 years ago. Yes. Many years
James
ago.
Cameron warned us.
He did.
Like we need to learn from the movies we watch. Like movies aren't just movies, dude. Especially from the good old days. Movies had lessons.
Nobody listened. Nobody's listened.
Not to mention like The Matrix too.
Oh yeah.
Like The Matrix.
Yeah. Even worse. We're all just batteries.
Like The Matrix, Terminator. Like those are two cornerstone movie franchises that hit this exact point of why AI and advancements in AI are a terrible idea.
Yes.
And yet you got Google, you got Meta / Facebook, you got Amazon, like probably also like Nvidia too or something. They're all going into AI and they're paying people hundreds of thousands, in some cases maybe even $1 million to go and write code for humanity's demise.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, can't we replace the show? You can't replace the Karen Willie show with AI. Good luck.
You're not replacing. You cannot code a robot to have my unstable emotion.
Right. Yeah. And outbursts and
you cannot program
anger. Exasperation.
You cannot program a robot to do that. You can't write code for that.
No, you can't.
I am an uncodable person.
Yeah. Which is why you should keep watching, everybody. 201 episodes of this.
Yes.
All pure us.
Episodes, just
no artificial anything
robots,
here.
No AI. Nothing.
Oh, gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right. You got anything else?
All right. Gonna do one last scroll through the social medias. I guess the Olympics.
Oh, right. Yeah, the Olympics. Have you been watching? Have you watched anything?
I got to see if USA basketball is losing to South Sudan.
I've not. I've only watched stuff in the background.
3 p.m. It started at 3 p.m. Eastern time. End of the third quarter, the U.S. is up 73-57. So, pretty good. Pretty good start from USA basketball, who brought the big guns this time around.
Yeah, they can't lose to South Sudan, right?
They almost lost to South Sudan in the war.
Good point.
I mean, that would be just a black eye on this country.
I mean, that'd be pretty low.
That would be an election. That would be a talking point.
Kill. Yes.
That would be a talking point in this election.
Yeah.
Is just like, what will you do? Like,
yes, that's a platform.
Like at the next debate, there's going to be a question. It's like, what will you do if the U.S. lost to South Sudan?
Right.
That would be a debate question.
How do we avoid this mass embarrassment from
it's like,
in the future?
How will we avoid mass embarrassment like losing to South Sudan in basketball in the Olympics?
Yeah.
Well, Steve Kerr, he's a total loser. Total loser. That's the most Trump.
Good enough.
That is the most.
That's good. That's good enough. It's good enough. Oh, all right. Well, unlike South Sudan, we are winners here. So
yes.
Unless they win, then we're screwed. But all right.
All right. So that'll about do it for me.
Okay.
So, anyways. From Ming Chen and his Shared Universe Podcast Studio, I am Cameron Bully. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok. And as always, stay classy, New Jersey.